I think before we even get started, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to this video. I really appreciate it. We're trying to build up our channel, and your help, your contribution to this channel is greatly appreciated. Moving right along, today is Sunday, December 10th, 2017. Uh, when I was 14, I left my mom's house, and ever since then, I stopped going to church. But I am a Christian, and I do like to keep a strong relationship with God just by prayer, meditation, and I try to get a little Bible study in on Sundays, just my own personal little thing. I decided recently that I'd start letting y'all in on it, so here we go. Today, a couple of verses I was looking at. One of them was 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. In a nutshell, it says, every scripture is inspired of God, is also profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction, which is in righteousness. I'm going to give you another version. That was the King James version. The New International Version says, all scripture is God breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. So a lot of times I hear, especially online, you can see the comment sections of different religious memes and videos. You can see how a lot of people have this argument that, oh, the Bible is man written and it's wrong and it's man written. But the Bible is clearly saying here that, of course, it's man written, but it's inspired by God. And it's good for a number of things, be it teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. So I'm in law school currently. I have to learn things about the law. I have to read books in order to pass my classes. These books are good for teaching. These concepts in the books are used for rebuking. These concepts in the books are uh, tried to hold different levels of culpability, which would be levels of righteousness in a sense. You understand? The Bible, even though it was written by man, it can definitely hold value. And that's the message that I want you to reiterate with this verse here. Moving right along, another verse I was looking at was Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. And I try not to spend all day, just get a couple verses in, keep me motivated. Because this is our first interaction, my first time recording my Bible study, I decided to pick a few verses to give you a sense of the perspective I will be coming from in the future. So, as I said, Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. And it reads, for ye, brethren, were called for freedom. Only use not your freedom for an occasion to the flesh, but through love be servants one to another. Now, when I look at the world today, I think that this verse from the Bible is the most relevant and the most on point uh, verbiage of what we're living today, what we need to be doing. It says, for ye brethren. Who are the brethren that I'm addressing right now? The majority of my viewers are my black people, black men, black women, uh, and everyone is welcome to watch. You know, white people are welcome, Asians, it doesn't matter. I don't discriminate very much in that regard, but especially not as it relates to my religious perspectives or interpersonal relations. I don't discriminate at all interrelationally. Uh, so, but a lot of times I hear, especially in the blogs and then online, and you see this argument that, oh, the Christianity is a slave making religion. Like I said, I do have issues with the way that the black church is leading its followers today. I haven't gone to church for years. I'm 26 now. I stopped going when I was around 15, 16, and I was only going because of my parents then. I do, like I said, think that there's benefits to the word. I think that there's power and wisdom. There's nuggets of wisdom. Just like rap, a lot of people will try to come against hip hop and rap and whatnot. But I think that if you listen to some of these artists, my son, Joey Badass, perfect example, If you listen to some of these artists and you listen to the words, they're dropping jewels of wisdom. Whether you say that the hip hop culture is wrong, some people might argue that. They might argue it's violent. They might argue it's misogynistic. But you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. Uh, so as I said, for ye brethren, we're called for freedom. Like, how could it be a slave making religion if they're telling you you've been called for freedom? But use not your freedom for an occasion to the flesh, but through love be servants one to another. How many junkies are we raising today? Alcoholics, Molly takers, Molly poppers, you know what I'm saying? Weed heads. And hey, I'm not judging. I smoke a little weed myself, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I recognize these things as rooms for improvement. And I just want to reiterate that this is the time that I would look at myself introspectively and say, okay, where are the areas in my life that I can improve? Can I start or stop drinking on the weekends? Maybe a little bit less? Can I maybe not smoke another J that night when I want to go to sleep? You know, is the time you ask yourself that. But through love, be servants to one another. And we all know the need for black businesses. Is that not? Does that not sound like the perfect call for black business? But through love, be servants one to another. Use not your freedom for an occasion to flesh. Don't use it to get drunk and high all the time. But through love, be servants one to another. How many black businesses do we have? Are you opening that restaurant you were talking about? You want to open a smoothie bar. You want to open a juice bar. You want to open a vegan restaurant. Maybe you want to sell your own clothing online. Maybe you have poetry that you only write to yourself, but instead you won't upload it to YouTube and just give it to the people. I don't know. Think about it introspectively. And last one, like I said, I want to keep these very short. I have a short attention span. I've looked through these notes. You can check out these verses and get what you get from it. But I'm just verbalizing a few ideas of my own. So lastly, I'm going to end with this. I want to go with Matthew chapter 24, verse 11. Give me a second to pull it up. Matthew chapter 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall arise and shall lead many astray. Like I said, I haven't gone to church for a few years now. Okay. I might have gone on occasion to satisfy one of my family members and just show up for like an Easter or something. I don't remember the last Easter I've been, but I might have gone once or twice for a family member, but consistently I do not. I have issues with the majority of these churches where they can have a group of educated, intelligent black people sit there faithfully every Sunday. I'm talking about engineers, architects, doctors, nurses, political scientists, uh, car engineers. Everything you can think of is right there in the church, and you don't use cops, army officers, military enlisted men, NCOs. You have everyone stationed right there in the church every Sunday, faithfully giving you funds, and you fail to use all of that political power, all of that capital, financial capital, and dedication of black people. You fail to use that for a political purpose, like getting all of these black, all of these murderous cops off of our neck. I feel like that's a derelict of duty. So I beware of false prophets. And I don't want you to get on here and take my philosophies. This may be my first video, but as I start to upload, you might hear a few of my philosophies straight from the norm, straight from what you might hear. And I want you to understand I'm not a prophet. I'm not telling you what to think. Please do not misconstrue what I'm speaking for myself and my thoughts. This is I think. This is what I think. The title of this YouTube channel is I Think. Do not use that and assume that I want to push my views onto you. I'm simply sharing, and I welcome your comments and your response below. All right? Besides that, happy Sunday. Y'all be peaceful, but if necessary, defend yourself. Above all, be safe. Love you. Peace.